Welcome back to the Vintage Firearm series. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Forgotten Model 12. Why do I call it the Forgotten Model 12? Well, it's very simple. No one knows of it anymore. Some people, like myself, know that it existed, but have never put my hands on one. So, what is it? Well, that's what we're going to go in and talk about. I was at a gun show this last weekend, and everyone was walking around and talking as they do about guns. And there was this small little group over next to this gun. And a guy had come in the gun show wanting to sell it. An elderly man getting rid of his collection, I would guess. So when I see the gun from a distance, and they're calling it a Model 12, but I know it's unlike any Model 12 I've ever put my hands on. And the first thing I notice about it is this area right in here. It just does not look correct for a Model 12, or does it? So the other thing that everyone's saying, it's all been redone. Well, I'm looking at it, and the first things I notice, of course, is the bluing is perfect and error correct. The furniture is perfect and screams late 50s. The butt plate is original and hard. The slide has no wear to it at all. When I say no wear to it, none from firing, more from just racking the slide. This was confusing a lot of people. One gentleman said, and I know him to be an intelligent collector. He said he would take this gun home and make it correct. He would take this piece off and he would put a Model 12 section in it. I don't think he would have been very successful at that. And if he had been, he would have destroyed the gun as far as the value of it. But he was no fool. He was just confused like everybody else who was looking at it, including myself. But the first thing I do when I look at a gun is I try to look for what the gun can tell me. And usually there are some great things that it's just dying to tell you. So the first thing I look at is the release is the traditional. Got a little button right here, just like it would be. You've got the crossbolt safety. That's original. The buttstock screams Model 12. The recoil cushion on the back, not only does it look period correct, but it's also hard. I always look for that. If it's hard over the years, that means it's been on there for a long time. The slide just has no usage. You know, you can tell. It's just been racked. That's all that shows. And then there's no way this has been reblued. I'm looking at it. It's just too good. The barrel, all indications are. I always carry a light with me when I'm out shopping, and I put a board light down on it, and it was mint. I mean, it's never had lead go through that before. So what is it? Well, the next step that I do when I get a chance to get my grubby paws on it is I look at what the barrel has to say. First thing it says is Winchester trademark. And this is, you can always tell original stampings. This is absolutely, during the 50s in particular, late 50s, they were very defined. But throughout all of Winchester, almost, they were very defined. So here we have trademark, made in the USA, as I said, Winchester Model 12, Winchester proof steel, full choke. I always love a full choke. 2 3/4 chambered, and one other simple little word that told me everything I needed to know. Featherweight. That's what this gun was. I had never seen one in the flesh, but I knew of them. They made them from according to Winchester, they made them from the late 50s till 1963. That's when the great shakeup came. But it really came earlier than that, but that's when it became obvious to the average consumer. This gun was probably designed in 1956, that's my thoughts, because it was released in 1958. Now, there are some people that said that the reason there weren't many of these guns made is because it was actually a very short run before things internally stopped at Winchester. There were changes going on. In 1958, things were still rolling along. Winchester was making some of the greatest guns they had ever made. My favorites come from the mid to late 50s. So this was during that period of time, certainly when it was designed. Now, the serial number would suggest that it was one of the very first guns made in 1961. When I say one of the very first guns, I mean the first few days of 1961. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there are rumors out there on the internet, and I'm not here to support them or knock them down. I'm just here to acknowledge that they do exist, that Winchester stopped production on this early on, very early on, and just assembled the guns over time. That's the rumor that's going out there. So we don't know that. We do know that a limited number of them, certainly by Model 12 standards, where they made 2 million in total, were made. Now, why did they come out with this featherweight? Well, I can tell you the reason they came out with it, because they were under immense pressure to combat other manufacturers like Ithaca, Remington, and all of these other brands that were undercutting them. And they were also producing lighter shotguns. So they had to compete with that. And that this was their attempt. But it would seem that early on they said, no, we're going to have to go more radical than this. This is a remarkable gun. I'm excited to have it. It's such a rare gun to me, for certain. I've never held one anything like it. It's the only one I've ever had in my hands. It's perfect in every way. Oh, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention that's very important. One of the first things I noted when I was looking at this gun, that I knew the barrel hadn't been changed, because that's what they were saying. Oh, the barrel has been changed. Even so, in here, I knew this looked different. They were saying the barrel had changed, but I knew that they were wrong. And the reason I knew that they were wrong is the last 3 digits on the barrel are the last 3 digits on the serial number. Also, when you look at the serial number, after the serial number, it says F. That stands for, of course, featherweight. Shall we take this little girl out there and see what she does? I'm not sure it's ever been fired out of the factory. I don't know how I keep on finding these, but I keep on looking. I pass up on a lot of guns looking for guns like this. But it's rare that I find a low production model, what appears to be unfired, in spectacular condition. That is a part of my permanent collection. Let's go outside. What I've chosen here to do today is to weigh it against one of my favorite Winchesters of all time. That is a 1954 Model 12 against this one from what they say is 1961, but could actually be 58. But in any case, I consider it a direct comparison. So let's go outside to our weighing machine and see if the featherweight is in fact any lighter. Either way, I love it just because it's different. By the way, I don't know if I really talked about this much. but the barrels are interchangeable. But the rest of it is not. This is not a breakdown gun. So if you're looking at this gun, you say you can spin that knob off and you can break this down. I don't break down guns unnecessarily. I certainly wouldn't break one down in this case that's never been fired, and I wouldn't want to put the wear on it. But from what I've read, they're not breakdown models as a traditional sense. But they do have interchangeable barrels, so you can change them out. This one's got a full choke. Where would I go? I love full choke. So anyways, let's go outside. We'll weigh them. We'll answer some questions on how successful. Oh, you know what we should do? Weighing it wouldn't mean much if we didn't measure the length of the barrel. Okay, this is a 30-inch. That's a pretty good size. We'll also do length of pull just for the kicks of it. 14.5. Okay, including the butt pad. Okay, so 30 inches and 14.5. Let's go see a traditional Model 12. I was out walking in the woods this morning with this gun. I just love it. I always grab the wrong end. Let's go ahead. Okay, so this is a tough comparison because this is going to, hang on a second, let's get this accurate. This is a 28-inch, so that one's a 30-inch. So that one's at a disadvantage. You got a couple of inches more of barrel. They're both full choke. So on that, they're the same. Oh, the length of pull, let's do that too, right? I did on the other one. Let's go ahead and see what the length of pull is on this. The length of pull is 14. The other one's 14.5. It's actually a bigger shotgun. Interesting, isn't it? They're calling that a featherweight, and it's a bigger shotgun. So let's go out and check it out. Okay, so here we are. Let's grab our 1954 Model 12. Okay, we're at just under 7.5 pounds. So I would say 7 pounds, 9.5 ounces. Now, oh, that's substantial because we have to remember now, this is a much lighter gun because our stock, I believe, is 1 inch shorter. So we're just under 7 pounds. That's quite a big difference. Let's go ahead and see how she shoots. Okay, so here we are. We're outside now. We've got 3 drink containers down there, styrofoam, which is going to be splattered to the wind soon. Let's go ahead and load up our Model 12. I've never loaded up a Featherweight before. Seems to be maybe even a little easier than a Model 12. I don't know. I've just put in 3. I don't know how. This was not set up for hunting. That's 4. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. I only put up 3 targets because I figured, you know, being a gun that did not appear to be fired, it would still have the plug in it. Maybe this never came with a plug. I don't know. Okay. So, shall we go ahead and get started? Started on the left, move to the right. Our safety is on. We'll load our first shell. We got that done. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. Okay, safety off. Oh, I guess that extra shot came in handy, didn't it? That one guy just didn't want to go down. He just wanted to fall sideways. So, perfect. No problems at all. No hitches, no hiccups. Wow. That's what's cool about an old gun. You know, you don't have a lot of parts in there that need service or anything. A little cleaning, proper care, proper keeping it, it's all good. Let's go inside and we'll finish this video up. Okay, so that was pretty successful. I'm just constantly amazed that you can grab a gun that in this case, let's do some simple math, 65 years old or 60 years old anyways. And obviously it's just been sitting somewhere, well cared for though, I might add. I don't see where it's been overly oiled or anything. I don't believe it had ever been shot out of the factory until today. And yet, look at that. Boom, bam, bam, bam. Just fast as you could be. No problems. Okay, so what we're going to do now, and amongst other things, we're going to talk about a couple of things too. Of course, we're going to clean the gun because that would not be right not to clean the gun. Can you imagine if this gun had been fired a few times early on and had never been cleaned? Probably have some following in there, you know. And certainly wouldn't be quite as shiny and pretty as it is today. But the other thing is, notice the weight drop. That's substantial. What was it, a little over 7 pounds? A little side-by-side 20 gauge is going to weigh 6. This, not only is it the forgotten Winchester Model 12, but in addition to that, it's the sleeper. If you want a light gun and you want a quality gun, I can't imagine you going too far off on this one. Having a little bear of it getting all the way down there. This, you know why? This is a 30-inch. It's just a little bit longer. Now, that's what makes that weight difference kind of interesting, because it's longer on both ends. The stock's longer, okay? And so is the barrel. You know, it should be considerably heavier. I wish I had my bore light is, both my bore lights, I know exactly where they are. They're in my office where I was doing some work last night on some very vintage firearms that will be coming up. And so I think that's it for today. I can guarantee you that bore is pretty nice. It was before, and it won't have changed by those 4 shots and running a bore through immediately afterwards, a bore snake. So I got lots of great things planned. I hope you stick around. If you would sub me on Rumble, it's really important. If you sub me on YouTube, that's good too. If you want to leave a comment, you know, that's good. The videos go up right now. They're running 3 weeks behind on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you could have seen this video 3 weeks ago. I think it could be more later on. It's just, it's hard to do everything. And I want to also promote Rumble, because Rumble is going to be our permanent home, where YouTube is just until they make more rules against firearms. Okay, so you take it easy. Thank you very much for following. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for watching the videos. Thank you for leaving a comment. Just thank you. Take it easy. I've got some great plans coming up, and I'm really excited about them. Each and every day I'm thinking about great stuff. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.